Hey friends, welcome back to another video. My name's Emma LaFave, and today we're going to be playing another little game of flower color guide roulette. So let's jump in and randomly pick one of these flowers to paint. Okay, so today we are picking at random one of the flowers from the flower color guidebook. It's just a fun way to kind of just try out new flowers, not put a lot of pressure on yourself. It doesn't have to be exact. You're just going to try, or I'm just going to try my best to recreate whatever flower I land on. Okay, so I will put the link in the description for this book. Today I'm going to be painting in my new Etcher Lab cold press watercolor sketchbook. It's like my other ones, but this is the portrait orientation rather than the landscape orientation book that I have. This is a B5 size, and I just really wanted to try one that was this way. So it opens like this, same paper and everything. Love the Etcher Lab cold press watercolor sketchbooks. They are my absolute favorite. So I'm going to be painting in this today. I have my Winsor Newton professional watercolors, and then I have my Emma LaFave Craftimo brushes and my water and paper towel. I'm ready to go. Okay, so I am going to pick a flower out of here at random, and I know you can't see my eyes, but they are closed, and I'm just gonna go through it, and I'm going to stop and be a little bit nervous about it. And here. Okay, so today we can either paint Sweet William Catchflies or Boronias. Okay, I haven't painted either of these before, but I think I'm gravitating more towards these. There's just more flower to them, although these are kind of like little, they almost look like little bell shapes, which are kind of cool. But I still feel like I'm gravitating more towards this. So they look like little clusters of like these little purple star flowers. They kind of have like this trumpet base to them, which you don't see on all of them unless it's like a side view. But we're just going to give it a try. So I am going to put a photo of this in the top corner so you guys can see while I'm painting. I'm going to put it to the side while I'm painting. And I know one thing about these books is because they're so small and they're just hard to kind of lay flat, people have a lot of problems, copying from them. So what I do is I take one of my big binder clips. This is a large. I got them off Amazon. There's tons of different variations of them. I don't even remember which exact ones I got, but they're all pretty much the same. And while this may not be great for the book, I'm just going to clip it like that, and it keeps it open for the most part. Okay, so I'm just going to put that to the side, and we're going to start. So like I always do, I do loose watercolor florals when I'm trying to do this this book, just because I don't want to go into too much detail. I don't want to put too much pressure on myself to make it look a certain way. I just want to have fun with it. So I'm going to start here. I think I'm going to go on this side though, just so I have room and all that. And I'm going to use my smaller binder clip. I got like a bunch of them off Amazon. You can just always look up rose gold binder clips, and that's kind of what I got. Okay, and we can begin. So this flower is purple. I think I'm going to use my size 6 for it. I'm going to wet up my size 6. I'm going to get my colors ready. Got some purple. This one is a little bit more of like a pinky purple, so I'm going to add a little bit of my permanent rose to it. More like a magenta kind of color. Magenta, well, like mauve, whatever you call it. And then I'm just going to wet up my greens to make sure that they're ready to go. I usually like having some light greens on hand, and then my dark green, my perylene green as an option. Okay, and we're ready to go. So like I said, I'm going to be doing a loose version of this, but it looks like they're little clusters of these purple flowers. So I'm going to do some at the top here that are kind of like side views. So they look to have these kind of long, kind of trumpety base. I feel like that's a little bit too dark. I'm just going to take off some of the color. Like that. And then on top you see the petals, and they're like little stars almost. And then they'll have little stems kind of coming off of them after. Okay, let's do another little cluster of like the side view. So these long kind of, almost like long triangular shapes. And I'm trying to overlap some. And then you get those little petals. While it's still wet, I might add a little bit of darker purple, just like tap it in there just to make it look a little bit interesting, right? Like give a little bit of variety in the colors and the shades and stuff and the values. Okay, then I'm going to start doing more like forward facing ones. So they look like little stars kind of. So just kind of like 5 petals going around. It's a little too pink, that's okay. This is quite a big cluster of them. Do another one over here. And I'm just doing these like little dabs with the tip of my brush. Okay, now I'm going to start with the stems. So I'm just going to grab my size 2 brush and I'm going to grab some sap green and I'm going to start creating the stems. Okay, so from each of the little kind of flowers, there's a little stem and they all kind of connect to one stem like that. And I'm just doing these really thin stems coming off of them. And then the ones that are like forward facing, you're not going to see as much, but we can just do like some little stems kind of running throughout the white space that we leave. And I'm kind of trying to get all these stems pointing to one area, so they're all kind of coming from the same area. So this one is going to come from this area. Like so. And then they're all going to kind of connect to like bigger stems. So I'm going to have this one kind of coming down. Okay, and then I'm going to see, I don't think I want to add any more flowers because the leaves are not big, but they're fairly, like, they're bigger. So I'm going to leave some room for the leaves. And they just look like these simple kind of leaf shapes. So I'm just going to grab my sap green. And there's some like towards the top, kind of connected to some of them. Like they're smaller towards the top. And I'm just kind of filling in some of this white space. Like there's quite a lot of white space right here. I'm going to fill that in with some of the leaves. And you can have them flipping and going different ways. And then while some of these are still wet, I'm just going to grab my darker green and I'm just going to go towards like the base of these leaves just to create a little bit of depth and difference in color. Like that. Might go over some of these stems. Kind of like it. Like that. And then I feel like some of the flowers just need a little bit something more to it. So I think I'm just gonna grab a bit more purple, a bit more pink. And not too dark. I'm just gonna take some of that off and I'm just gonna do some extra little dabs for the petals. I know there's some centers to these flowers, but you don't really see it too much in the picture. So I'm just gonna darken, oops, and my hand went into the leaf, that's fine. Okay. Just gonna add a little bit more sharper strokes on the petals just to make it stand out a bit more because our flowers are dry. Just gonna make it look a bit more, not detailed because it's not like super detailed where you can see each individual flower a lot. Just gives it a little bit of depth too when you kind of go back in and add some darker colors or darker values of your color. That's a bit too sharp there. Just want a light kind of wash there. that. And then I'm just going to wait for the leaves to dry, and I'm just going to do the, what are they called? The veins on the leaves. Okay, now that they're dry, I'm just going to take my size 2, and I think I'm actually going to mix a little bit of green with white because I want the veins to be a bit lighter. I'm going to take some white, mix a little bit with green, and I'm just going to do this really thin vein curving with the shape of the leaves. And when it dries, it's not too dark or like opaque. You'll just see like this faint lightness to it. So if you wanted to intensify it a bit more, you could always add a little bit more darker green and then go right beside it. Like that. And there we go. I think that's pretty good. I feel like you could just keep going all the time and just keep going and adding more detail and all that. But I think that's pretty good. So that is our Sweet William catchfly. I've never actually seen or heard of this flower before, but that was fun to do. Thank you guys so much for watching my video. I really hope you liked it and I hope you learned something. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel and follow me on Instagram and all my other platforms for tons more content. I'll see you guys soon. Bye.